Yo, 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 what's going on, peeps? We're here reacting to the Diablo 4 presentation for Xbox and Bethesda Showcase. My full reaction for the full video will be out. I'm just trying to edit it because it was kind of like hit and miss. We did have some few technical issues, but without further ado, let's jump straight into this reaction and see what Diablo 4 is like.
I speak now to those who heed a darker call.
So I like it already how off the jump it's darker than Diablo 3.
Bold enough to cross
They've gone to like old school Diablo.
for deeper knowledge. Who follow an unquenchable yearning, born of blood and bone. To unlock
I'm pretty sure this is Necromancer, and it looks awesome.
Black rituals, calling forth life from death.
But definitely continuing with the theme from the trailer when we first got to see it.
Embrace this power. You must take it into the world. You will be shunned, scorned, marked as a living sacrifice to this.
I like it how they've made him a little more human-ish. That sounds really weird, but the design of him, or her, is a lot better depending on what you're playing.
You will be a priest of Rathma, a necromancer. And you will not confront the darkness alone. We are the speakers of the dead, and the dead have no.
Okay, so we're definitely summoning skeletons again. I can see that. Because this is interesting, why no one's talking. I wonder what the next DLC character is. You know, because they're all the main characters are there, and Necromancer was
I'm very excited to
DLC.
announce our fifth and final class, the Necromancer, a commander of the undead who joins the other iconic classes around the campfire in Diablo 4. These include the mighty barbarian, the elemental sorceress, the crafty rogue, and the powerful druid. And you'll want them because the demon Lilith, the daughter of hatred, has returned and spreading corruption and evil as she fights to reclaim our dark gothic world as her own. And it's up to you.
I'd be interested to see what they
stop
do
her.
with Lilith.
Now, Diablo 4 is the culmination of the 25-year history of the franchise, building on top of the best of what's come before with some, you know, unique twists all its own. So let's dig a little deeper by watching, for the first time I might add, some Xbox Series X gameplay, while hearing from a few of the many people behind the game.
We'll discuss after. Like, we'll stop the video and discuss everything that we see. I'll try and not talk as much as I can. Let me just make this a bit smaller.
Diablo 4 is the next generation of action RPG, melding monster slaying and loot collecting with a fully realized open world.
It's not for the faint of heart. It's gory and unnerving. It's creepy.
But that's what we want. We want creepy.
Diablo 4 is all about player choice.
It takes all of the pillars of a Diablo game and just expands them with all of the new features that people really love and appreciate in modern games.
That sounds so much like Emmy.
Whoever you see yourself being, you can create in Diablo 4.
It's important to include robust character customization because then I can play the fantasy that I want to play.
See, that's a good thing. Now we've got character customization.
Switch around your playstyle as well.
That's sick.
Everything
I like that.
feels very
I'm a
powerful
mage
and fun.
player, so that looked epic.
One of the really cool things about having an open world is your journey that you take throughout Diablo 4 is your own. There's no linear path that you have to follow.
We've got almost 150 dungeons in the game.
Shit, that's a lot of
There's all
dungeons.
kinds of
Jesus.
surprises as you're exploring.
Hopefully they're all different.
Strongholds are an enemy territory that you need to reclaim.
You might have a space that begins as a hostile area, but after you've cleared it out,
The evil in this place has been cleansed.
it now becomes a friendly town.
Sometimes it's a new town, sometimes it's a new dungeon. There's a whole bunch of rewards that you get, and you have a real impact on the world as a result.
No, you can't leave us here. They might
See, the art style is really cool as well for how dark it is.
Story segments that happen within the open world.
You'll just be running through the world, and then a local event will pop up, and you can choose to participate in it, or get a group together and just wail on these like giant world bosses.
I
These are
don't
events
think.
that take a lot of people, and you really have to work together.
Hopefully they make these world bosses really hard and not just
Being able to see all the players on your screen,
like kind of simple.
collaborating, trying to take this big monster down, it's epic.
Wow, no braces. I wasn't so lucky.
This is not your parents' braces.
Did we seriously just get there we go.
It's so easy to create a community. It makes Diablo more of a social experience.
We've got fully enabled crossplay.
If you have an Xbox and your buddy has a PC, you're going to be able to group up.
Or you could play couch co-op.
See, I like the crossplay thing because it also doesn't. Like if you PvP in, like, because Diablo works while I'm on controller.
If you go there, you can start swinging away at people. But you're also opening yourself up to being swung at.
If you're like really, really good, the game actually marks you as like a champion on the map. You basically become a loot pinata, and everyone wants to chase you down.
The last
Why they
story
do-
mission is really the beginning of a whole different part of the journey.
Now you're set up for the end game, and that end game.
Good, because
is
endgame's
rich
always
with
best
things
because it's
to do
rifting
that'll allow you
like
to
this,
get
like
more and more
dungeons
powerful.
rifting.
Whether it's new items or new dungeons or new
Oh,
paradigm
what
boards,
the hell?
every single time you come back
Why
to
did
play
that,
Diablo 4,
mate? That
there's
gave
going
me a
to be new
feeling
stuff
of
for you to
Path of Exile.
experience.
How much like skill tree and Paragon levels they are. That's gonna be
I'm really
interesting.
excited for folks to get their hands on Diablo 4.
Just to see millions of people really enjoying the different options.
Through the campaign,
Local events.
Couch co-op,
Endgame.
PvP, it almost doesn't end.
And we are so close.
That's epic. I'm pretty sure it's like. I'm pretty sure it's like 2023 released. So, what did we see on there? Which is good because right now 2022 is just pointless for games for being released. Like, there's nothing coming out. There's a few, but so on and so forth. But what did we see? So character customization. Well, let's first. So Necromancer. I would have liked to see a few different characters because obviously, what do we have? Monk, Demon Hunter in 3. And now what do we have? Mage, Barbarian, Druid, Rogue, and now Necromancer. It'd have been nice to see other characters, but it makes me think, like, okay, well, are they just going to bring the Demon Hunter back in for DLC? Don't really know. But all in all, characters look great. Would like to see some more variation, but that's okay. It's all the characters we love from Diablo. Then jumping into character customization. Hopefully, because it's never been like prevalent in the game, there's never been so much of it. So I'm okay with a little bit. Hopefully they put quite a bit in so we can have like mix and match. I'll be happy with that. I think everyone will be happy with that. Then we've got, when we're jumping into like okay, so now it's not linear. It's going to be open world, which I think everyone prefers. I think with Diablo 3, it was linear, but it had some open sections, but you'd get you to a point where you would just, it'd narrowly focus you into a point of just linear, which became a little bit boring. Especially because you're going to try and do playthroughs. So, that's like the hardest thing, is trying to make it, okay, if I want to go through a different character, I want to at least go to an area where I've probably not been before, like a space I've not been before, because you probably, depending on how big the map is, we might not even go to every space on the map, so that's a bonus, open world. Really excited the fact that they say 150 dungeons, which is good, because it might not sound a lot, 150. We've all been gamers, we've all wanted like loads of dungeons, especially if you're MMOers. You've seen a plenty of dungeons, so 150 is quite a lot. Hopefully they're all unique, and there's different styles. Then we get into how like strongholds work and areas of maps. So you go in, take it over, and then it becomes friendly, and shops are there and things like that. And I'm wondering if that'd stay. Does that stay? How does that affect the world map? Because you want some friendly places, because obviously you want to be able to just travel and get things in, but having all these strongholds, maybe like if they do too much of it, a lot of the map will then become friendly. PvP is just PvP. We all know what PvP is. It should be good. It's gonna be fun. I don't know if they've changed it from last time they showed. It seems like they have. What else was they? So world bosses, they look fun. Hopefully they're hard, because there's a lot of you there. I don't want it just to be, here's a world boss, it's got a lot of health. So I want some mechanics behind it, like you have to move, you have to dodge. So like there has to be some mechanics behind it. If it's just a lot of health, they're just going to get boring, and then it won't be hard. And hopefully it drops good loot. So there's that. Then let's just talk about like end game really quick. So like you've got, well actually we'll talk about mounts. So you have mounts, so it'd be interesting if you just get a horse, or do we get all the mounts? But then we start to think of, because we've just seen Immortal as well, and obviously I've played quite a bit of Immortal, it's like, oh okay, are we going to have that many microtransactions in this game for silly things like horses? So hopefully Immortal, like the greedy nonsense, stays on Immortal and doesn't transition into Diablo 4, but wait and see. But that's for a whole different video. Endgame, obviously everyone knows what endgame is. You hit max level, then you start doing more, obviously rifts, higher tier rifts. We'll see how that goes. It looks like a lot of dungeons, high dungeons. Your I don't know if that's your skill tree and your paragon, but they've definitely took a page out of Path of Exile. Path of Exile's like skill tree and like max level system was huge. I know a lot of people got confused with it, but once you got it down, it gave you various amounts of options to do different builds and stuff. So hopefully that they take on that form of just trying loads of different things. So that look good. We all know what endgame's gonna look like. And crossplay should be okay, because you like, it's not forced crossplay, as in like you're not at an advantage or like huge when it's like FPS to Diablo. So all in all, I'm excited for the game, because we've not played solo Diablo since 3. And I'm looking forward to it. There's just a few issues of like microtransactions, certain things like that. Oh, and something else I want to talk about. So if they're doing like an open world, and everyone who's done Diablo before, so I was thinking this, like, are they going to put like hardcore playthrough? Are they going to have like difficulty levels running all the way up to like Torment 12? Because I'm thinking, well, if that's the case, like, how would that function in an open world? Like, would it be like campaign based, Torment 12, or everything that's not a multiple like social event? So like, what like, so let's say you went in hardcore mode Torment 5. If we're just playing Diablo 3, for instance, if we're taking their things, would that affect like just the rest of the game? But the moment you get to like world bosses and stuff, it just neutralizes your difficulty level. Because I don't know how they'll implement all that in, and like with dungeons as well. Are we matchmaking? Are we not? So by the looks of things, I'm gonna say you're probably not gonna have all these really hard. I think they'll have hardcoring because it's a staple of Diablo. Run a hardcore playthrough, your character dies, and start again. Everyone's done at least one. I did 4, I think, on Diablo 3 for the achievement. But it's a staple. But having all these torment levels, maybe it would be nice to see how they implement it. But I'm looking forward to this game. Huge Diablo fan, and Blizzard needs a win at the minute. They've had so many like hits, they need a win. I'm not getting super hyped up for it because we've learned in the past that we get super hyped up for all these games and they just come out broken, not finished, and then they make all the excuses under the sun why it's not. So fingers crossed they do well. And yeah, guys, that's my Diablo 4 reaction. We'll try and I might do like the whole Bethesda one because it's quite long, an Xbox Bethesda, or I might just snip it, like go in and like I did with this one. Not like I did with this one, like I did with the rest, and bring it in sections in little videos. But yeah, just leave a like, comment in the description if you're in the comments. Sorry, if you're looking forward for Diablo. If you're not, if you're worried about how Immortal's gone, if that's going to transition over to Diablo 4, and yeah, we'll have a nice little chat in the comments section, and you'll catch me on the next one. Guys, much love, and I'll catch you on the next one, peeps. Peace.